In this video, I'm gonna get all 40 achievements in Sonic Frontiers. From intense boss battles to tricky platforming, this game has it all. Sonic Frontiers is my favorite Sonic game I've played so far in my quest to get all achievements in every Sonic game on Steam. And I still have to play the classics. But let's speed on through this adventure and unlock Sonic's full potential. The opening cutscene of the game shows Eggman getting sucked into a digital realm, as well as Sonic, Tails, and Amy flying in the tornado before also getting sucked into that digital realm. This digital realm is known as cyberspace, which are completely optional levels. I managed to get through the first stage rather easily, and I awaken to a voice that tells me to kill some titans, so it's the attack on titans. On my path, I run into a guardian, Ninja. As a tutorial fight, Ninja is defeated, and I am awarded my first achievement, as well as a cog. Cogs are what power the cyberspace levels, and I'll need to unlock all the levels, but I wasn't obligated to play any, so I never did. To kill the titans, I would need to get the 7 Chaos Emeralds, so the first one I grabbed was the Gatorade Emerald. This would finish the island tutorials and get me an achievement. I would get another achievement accidentally when I turned on a time trial and I boosted for the first time. I eventually ran into Amy, who is trapped in cyberspace because she isn't as cool as Sonic. However, freeing Amy comes at a cost, as I absorb the cyber corruption. Honestly, Sonic should have left Amy there, as she is useless. Running around aimlessly, I would wind up finding the Titan I was supposed to defeat, and I would punch his face well enough to get an achievement, but this man grabbed Sonic and threw him halfway across the island, and somehow Sonic isn't dead. Putting that aside, I would get 2 achievements for completing a cyberspace level and getting an S rank as well. I then found Big the Cat, and I went fishing. Fishing is super overpowered in this game, as I could get upgrades for dirt cheap, and catching a Medeka would award me an achievement for fishing for the first time. I used my fish tokens to get Lost Cocoa, which is a sort of upgrade. Buying over 200 Cocoa awards me an achievement. To get the upgrades, you return the Cocoa to Elder Cocoa, who in turn gives you the upgrades you need, and talking to him for the first time awards the player an achievement. To upgrade attack and defense, you need to speak with Hermit Cocoa and give him the power-up seeds and the defense-up seeds, and talking to him for the first time awards you an achievement. In order to fight the Titan, I would need the help of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, and so far I've collected 6. The final one is being used to power the Titan, so I used my brain to turn statues, to light the beacon that summons Moses, to split the waterfall that triggers a long conversation with Amy that then leads to the boss fight against Giganto. I managed to climb on top of his head and extracted the last and the best Chaos Emerald to unlock Super Sonic. Once I get Giganto to half health, he decides to stop holding back, and he powers up and shoots an energy beam at Sonic, but I catch it and I throw it away. I eventually whittled the boss's health down, and I blasted a giant hole in his chest, which causes the boss to explode anime style. I then talked with Amy before getting an achievement for finishing the first island, and I flew off to the next island, but my super form didn't last long as I was blown out of the sky, and I now have to do everything all over again.
Nah, that's cool. I didn't want this to be easy anyway.
The first thing I did on the second island was finding the fishing spot so I could get some upgrades, and as a bonus I got the achievement for discovering all the fishing drops. Super speeding my way through the desert oasis, I find Knuckles trapped in cyberspace. How he got there? I don't know, but I free him and get more corrupt. Every island has new guardians, and I'll need to defeat each one for an achievement later on, so I started killing them off, starting with the Strider. Soon after, I experienced my first Starfall, which is a good way to get purple coins to go fishing. You get an achievement for experiencing your first one, and I also got an achievement for collecting 100 purple coins. Sonic is teaching us gambling? I also managed to break 100 objects while traversing the overworld. Progressing the story, this character called Sage activates the next Titan, Wyvern, and I now have to run away from the missiles. Sage is going to be an important character in the story later on, so remember her. I managed to find cover and get some rest. Finding Knuckles, we managed to open a secret passage, and upon traversing, I wound up inside the boss arena with a fight against Wyvern. I do get a solid grip on the beast, but he shakes me off, so I have to run on this ghost track to get on top of its head to take the Chaos Emerald that's powering him, and I now transform into Supersonic for the second time. At half health, Wyvern does his power up and he starts shooting energy discs at me, so I have to avoid those. To be even more badass, Sonic picks up Wyvern by the tail, swings him around a few times, and slams him into a mountain. Wyvern then surrounds me and shoots a whole bunch of missiles, but I just collect them into one big pile and smash it in his face. Wyvern eventually slams into me, but I casually grab his face and make him stop spinning. Honestly, I've never felt cooler pressing one button. Turning it up to 11 now, Sonic pries open Wyvern's mouth and feeds him the rockets that he was shooting at me. This causes Wyvern to blow up. I then return to Knuckles, who makes a sly remark about probably being better than me, before getting an achievement for beating Wyvern, and then I got blasted out of the sky again, but this time at the worst island in the game. Before I took on the worst island, I decided to get some achievements from the previous islands that I missed. The first thing I did was travel back to the first island and I completed the final challenge, fully revealing the map for an achievement. I then grabbed enough portal cogs to activate all the cyber levels for that achievement, and I then talked to Amy for the side stories achievement. In Ares Island, I completed all the challenges to fully reveal its map, as well as talked to Knuckles for his side stories, unlocking the Ares Island Expert achievement. Because I hated this island so much, I ran to Big the Cat and fished for what felt like hours to save up enough tokens to buy out Big's entire stock of power and defense seeds. And then took these seeds to Hermit Coco, and he was able to fully maximize my attack and defense stat, rewarding me with 2 achievements. I also bought the necessary amount of portal cogs to activate all the portals for that achievement, and I actually progressed the story and freed my good pal Tails from cyber jail, and my corruption is at an all-time high now. I played a plain minigame, which will be important later on, but for now it activates the egg robot, revealing the way forward. Tails wanted some help, so I grabbed him the required supplies that he needs for the Chaos Emerald, and he fixed a bridge, which gave me another Chaos Emerald. At night, I completed all the challenges to reveal the whole map for the achievement, and finally I played Sonic Spitball to reveal the island's titan, being the Knight. It's the same old story. I get on its head, I take the emerald, and I access my full potential to kick its ass. Knight tries to extend his sword and cut me down, but I grab that thing and I anime style chopped him in half, and it did the slow slice reveal, which was the best part about the entire fight, is when it ended. Flying into the horizon, I got the achievement for defeating the Knight, and my next task was to deactivate a bunch of windmills blocking my super form. But before I did that, I went back to Chaos Island and viewed all the Tails side stories for an achievement. To deactivate the windmills, I need to climb the dang thing, and each tower would give Sonic a hint about an ancient alien race whose planet was destroyed, not to mention the massive amounts of cyber corruption he was also absorbing. Repeating this 6 times, Sonic eventually took too much corruption, and his friends, and Amy, all sacrificed themselves to restore Sonic so he could defeat the final Titan and they could all be saved. To do so, I needed to team up with Sage and Dr. Eggman. I wanted to do some cleanup before I took on the final boss, so I grabbed the remaining Coco and brought them back to Elder Coco so it could max out my speed and ring capacity, awarding me with 2 achievements. I then unlocked every skill on the skill tree, which wasn't too useful, but it got me an achievement. I finished the last challenge and revealed the map for an achievement, and I fixed all the cyberspace portals for an achievement, and at this point, I realized I never did this with the Ares Island, so I went back and did that for an achievement. I had a lovely conversation about Sonic's brain with Sage, and I got 2 achievements for completing all the side stories. I then took out the final Guardian type for an achievement, which was such a relief because this guy sucked ass. And I then killed the last regular enemy type all the way back in the first island for the Easy Prey achievement. The last achievement before taking on the big guns was to perform 50 Phantom Rush combos, so I cheesed the boss to do that and I got an achievement. I grabbed the second to last Chaos Emerald and reunited with Eggman, where he gave me the final emerald, so I turned super and flew off to defeat the one, the only, Supreme. Once I beat the absolute daylights out of Supreme, he crouches down and a fuzzy substance leaves his body. That fuzz is the final boss. Sage gets an idea and Eggman begrudgingly agrees, so Sage takes control of the Titan and they blast off into space where it is revealed that Sage is Eggman's daughter. I do get an achievement for defeating Supreme, and now I have to fight the end, which is where that plane minigame comes into play.
Me like a gnat. I am inevitable. I cannot be denied.
The end is a tough fight, but at the end it tries to blast Sonic. However, Sage helps and we deflect the attack. I get the last achievement and Sage throws Sonic right through the moon. The end self-destructs, but Sage sacrifices herself, which defeats the end, and all is saved. With the end defeated, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are saved from cyberspace, and Sonic has a reunion with them. Sadly, Eggman is left staring at the falling debris, knowing that his daughter has vanished, and the Sonic team then flies off into the sunset, but psych! Eggman does get a happy ending and he is able to restore Sage into his computer.
Father?
That's my girl.
Thank you for watching, and if you want to see another video of mine, I would recommend this video where I got every single achievement in Sonic Colors.